Let us understand the strategy to relate double and half angle formulae. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In this video, we'll discuss how do we relate double and half angles while working with trigonometric ratios. The question here is, given that sine A equals to minus 1 over 3 for A greater than equal to 2 pi by 3 pi by 2 and less than equal to 2 pi, find the exact value of cos 2A and sine A by 2. Now, this is a very common test question, but students find it very difficult. We'll understand the strategy to solve such questions. Let us try to see what is given to us. We are given that sine A is minus 1 over 3 and A is in third quadrant, right? So you can clearly see here that when I say that A is between 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi, so this is 0, that is pi by 2. This is pi and this is 3 pi by 2, correct? So A is in quadrant 4. So in quadrant 4, cosine is positive, right? So we can write down cos rule. We know that in quadrant 4, cosine is positive. So somewhere here we have A, right? Let us see this. Now we are given that sine A is minus 1 over 3. So clearly, sine has to be negative because you are in quadrant 4. So we can now make a triangle and write down what is given to us. For angle A, assume that the diagram has been plotted in quadrant 1. So we'll have opposite side of 1 and hypotenuse of 3, right? So that is the given thing. So what is the third side? Well, this side is 3 square minus 1 square square root. So using Pythagorean theorem, we can find this side, which is 9 minus 1 or square root of 8, which you can also write as 2 times 4 or 2 square root 2, right? So we are given that this side here is 2 square root 2, correct? So in the given triangle, for angle A, which happens to be in quadrant 4, we know that sine of A is minus 1 over 3. What will be cos of A? I know this value has not been asked for, but it is required since we want to find the double angle and the half angle, right? Cos is going to be positive 2 square root 2 by 3, right? So we know what is cos A. Now the question is, how do we find cos 2A and sine A by 2? So if you are in quadrant 4, let us take up an angle like 300, right? So 300 double will be 600. So 600, which will be in which quadrant? You have to think about that also, right? So that you know whether the sign of this is going to be positive or negative. You get the idea, right? So that double of this will also add up here only, right? You get the idea. So you go twice. Okay. Now, so we know that cos of 2A will also be positive. Now let's look into the related formulae. So let's look into these formulae, which are, let me write down the formulae, double angle formula, right? So what is cos 2A equals to? Cos 2A is 2 cos square A minus 1. We could actually find with sine A also 1 minus 2 sine square A, right? So we could use the second formula. directly using sine A. Now we need to find half angle formula also. See, half angle formula you can derive from here. We can write down that sine of theta by 2 will be equal to what? It will be 1 minus cos theta by 2 square root, right? So these are the formulae which will help us find our answer. Now clearly, if A is in quadrant 4, then A by 2 will be where? Well, it is going to be in quadrant 2, right? So A by 2 will be here. So sine A by 2 is going to be positive for us, and cos 2A will also be positive for us, right? So whenever you do square root, you have to think about which sign we should be using. Perfect. Now, one by one, let us find out the values. So I hope the basic concept is absolutely clear. So this is kind of a layout, how you should think before answering the question. I hope you like the idea. Well, in case you want to learn from me directly, you can send an email on the address given. Most of my students are right there on top of their class. Some are getting awards and scholarships like Akshat.
After attending university. The winner of this year's Certificate of Achievement Schulich Leader Award is Anil.anilkhandelwal.
Great. Our student Akshat gets highest marks and the most prestigious Schulich Leader Award. You can be there. Join our classes and excel. Now, let us look into specific solution. So we have cos 2a to figure out. Cos 2a we can find directly from sine a using the formula 1 minus 2 sine square a. Since we are given that sine a is equal to minus 1 over 3, also we are in quadrant 4, right? We are in quadrant 4 since a is between 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi, right? So a is in quadrant 4. So twice of that will again come back to quadrant 4. So using this formula, what we have here is that cos 2a should be equal to 1 minus 2 times sine a is 1 over 3. You may write 1 minus 1 over 3 whole square, right? So that gives you 1 minus 2 times. That becomes 1 over 9. And that is 1 minus 2 over 9, right? So cos 2a is equal to 1. You can take a common denominator 9 minus 2 over 9, which is 7 over 9. So we get cos 2a as equal to 7 over 9. So we got the first answer, which is 7 over 9, and it is going to be positive. As you can also see from the calculations done, right? Now let's find what is sine a by 2, right? So to find sine a by 2, we might use the formula from cos 2a, right? So you know cos 2a is basically equal to 1 minus 2 sine square a, right? This can be rearranged and we can write 2 sine square a as equal to 1 minus cos 2a. I'm just deriving the formula. So that gives you that sine a will be 1 minus cos 2a. You can divide by 2 and then square root. Correct? Now, if a is in quadrant 4, a by 2 will be in quadrant 2, right? So A is here, so A by 2 will be in quadrant 2, so this is going to be positive as we discussed. So we can actually now write down the formula for sine A by 2, which will be 1 minus cos A by 2, correct? Since we are given sine A, we can find cos A, right? So the triangle was given to us as, I'm redrawing it, 1 over 3 for the given angle of A, and this side will be 3 square, which is 9 minus 1, 8 square root 8, which is 2 square root 2, right? So we found that cos A is basically 2 square root 2 over 3, correct? So using this, we can find sine A by 2. So sine A by 2 will be square root of 1 minus cos A, which is 2 square root 2 over 3 divided by 2. So we can rewrite this as bringing 3 to the denominator. We get 3 minus 2 square root 2 over 6. Now it is a good idea to rationalize the denominator, right? So if I multiply by square root 6, I get this 6 outside, right? And within this radical, we can multiply by 6, getting 18 minus 12 square root 2. Do you see that? So that is how we can write down the value of sine A by 2. Perfect. So I hope you understand how we have derived and at the end rationalized to get the exact value in the correct form. So that is how we can actually solve this particular question. So I hope with this you understand how do we solve such questions, correct? So to begin with, we should realize in which quadrant we are working, and in that quadrant, which trigonometric ratios are positive and which are negative. Making use of a triangle, we can find cos A directly from sine A. We may use it later. And these are the formula which we will be using in this particular solution. Applying these formulas and substituting the values, we got our answers. Important thing is, while working for sine A by 2, you have radical 6 in the denominator, which should be rationalized. And therefore, the answer should be written in the given form. I hope that makes sense. Feel free to write your comments and share your views. If you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.